Actually, I think we're having a great school year. We have kids doing all kinds of activities, teachers going 100 miles an hour, and we have a lot of great projects going on, and I think we've kind of hit the ground running, and it's going really well. So we've increased the amount of service learning we're doing, and I think that's huge. We just finished our first ever family movie night where we're raising money for the Angel Tree to support, we support every year 16 families or so for Christmas gifts and such from the Salvation Army. And so we raised, I think, around $500 during family movie night, and that's the first time we've done something like that, and it was successful, so it was pretty exciting. We raised over, I think it was 5,146 or something like that cans from the food drive. We're getting ready next week to have Buffalo Wild Wings to earn money for PTSA, Parent Teacher Student Association, to be able to fund scholarships for some of our high school students. So we have a lot of things going on for service learning, and I love that that's something that we do. Well, I taught for 12 years before I became a principal, and one of the things that I discovered is the more that I taught, the more I wanted to be able to affect more kids. And as a teacher, you affect the students that you have in your classroom, but as a principal, you can clearly have a stronger effect on more people. And I was getting frustrated with the fact that I couldn't help in some of the areas because I was always really involved as a teacher in committees and such. And I wanted to be able to help more students and be able to have a bigger impact. The other thing is I chose to become a principal the year after 9/11. And I think part of that monumental thing that happened to our society made me want to be able to be of more service. And I think education is the future. And so it made me think it was time to do that. So it's my 12th year as principal. It's just crazy. I love any time that I can be in and see what kids are doing and getting in the middle of what they're doing. Just recently, the community-based students invited me in for their Thanksgiving dinner, and they had a place card set up for me, and they cooked their own food and wanted me to try it, and they were so excited when I came in. I had a ball. It was a lot of fun. I went bowling with those kids last year. Kids asking me to come to their concerts or their ball games and being able to see what they're doing and cheer for them, or they want me to come see their presentations or their projects. So for me, there's so many memories. I couldn't even begin to pick one. I think it's just that seeing the excitement and seeing the kids grow, and that's why I do what I do. It's for the kids. So I have 2 children of my own and 2 stepchildren and 2 grandchildren. I have 2 cats. 2's a theme. Sinclair and Sadie. Well, I don't have a lot of free time, but when I do have free time, I love to spend time with my friends and family, and I love to read. I'm an avid reader. I even read. I have a 30-mile commute, so I listen to books on CD, so I can read without having to actually read, per se. I love to go to the movies. I love music. I have a membership to the Morris Civic that I go with a girlfriend 4 times a year to go see the shows there. So that kind of stuff. I actually went to 3 colleges. I got my first degree at IU Bloomington, and I worked in retail management for a while. My degree was in apparel merchandising, and I went back to school, picked up my teacher's license at Manchester College, and then I went back to school again at IUSB and got my master's degree and my administrator's license at IUSB so that I could be a principal. I did track once, but I was a huge klutz. I was 5'10" by 6th grade. I grew faster than I could walk, pretty much, and I was pretty much a klutz. So that track wasn't really my thing. Or actually, nothing was my thing. I did it because somebody talked me into it, but no, I was not an athlete. I have sisters that are, but not me. I think that most people get a charge out of the fact that I have a plethora of shoes, over 200 pair. I'm all about shoes, and if you look around my office, you'll see a lot of evidence to that fact because people are always making gifts. In fact, in my former school, the vocabulary word of the year was plethora because the 6th grade English language arts teacher would teach that word to her kids, and the first time she didn't tell me about it, and the kids were coming up to me in lunch line and saying they were using that new vocabulary word and saying that they had heard that I had a plethora of shoes, except they were pronouncing the word wrong, and I had no idea what they were talking about. And I kept thinking, what? I don't even know. So I went and asked the teacher, and she started laughing and told me that that was their vocabulary word, and that's why they were saying it. She used me as an example. And so to this day, and in fact, I haven't been there in 6 years now. I got it on Facebook. I got a message that it was plethora week, and she used me as an example again. So I get a charge out of that years later, but I do like shoes. I have to admit it.